Also, for our new CEOs, you're probably like, who is this chick? I am Shamel Leonard, and I have created this group and the Auto Dealer Business School to help you be a high earning auto dealer. So if that's what you want to do, then I bring you the greatest strategies and the greatest information to get that done. Janita is joining us today. She is she's a lot of things, but today the hat she's going to wear is credit repair specialist, and she is going to drop some knowledge on what you need to do to get this credit up, because of, you know, we live in this world where we live in this society where credit is all that. And once you have your credit up, you have a lot of security for your business. So good morning, Janita. Are you having difficulty getting in? I see, I don't see any notifications. So while we wait for Janita to get in on the video, do you all have any questions about credit that you hope will be addressed today? Anything? Let me know if you have any questions about credit. And then also there is I'm going to talk a little more at the end about how you can work with Janita to get your credit score up, because if you have been hanging around me for a while, then you know that I am all about hiring the professionals to do what the professionals do. I think that that's a big downfall of a lot of CEOs. We try to do it all. We try to fix our credit. We try to, you know, do our taxes. We try to do all these things. We try to repair the cars. We try to do all these things, and there's just not enough time in the day, and it takes time away from the things you really love to do. So get with Janita to get your credit repaired, and the link is in the description. Good morning.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Good morning.
What's up?
Nothing much. Hi, everybody. Hello. I'm sorry it took a minute for us to get the connection situated.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, you know, I think I'm still learning it too. And when you said you were on your computer, I was like, wait, I'm on my computer too. I might need to be on my phone.
On a mobile device.
Right. Now I know. All right, so we are all here for this. We are ready to learn how we can improve our credit right now. Are you ready to teach us?
Yes, I definitely am this morning.
Okay.
I definitely am. And I know that after we run through the points, I know that we also have questions. Did you get them down from the last slide?
I did.
Okay.
I have my computer still open, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. That works.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know me, I am Janita Jackson, and I am the CEO of Infinite Potential Financial Consulting, which offers an array of services, but the one that I'm here to talk to you about today is credit. Being a business owner, you will find that you actually need to be able to leverage your credit. This means that in order to do that, you need to make sure that your personal credit is up to par. And it also means, like, I believe it's Mr. Waller. Is that how you say his name? Mr. Waller was the accent?
Walker.
Okay,
yeah.
So like Mr. Walker was saying, in order to be able to maximize that, you also need to build business credit too. So that's very important. So I'm so happy he asked that question, so we can get to that as well. The number one thing that you need to do is to be aware of what your credit score is. A lot of people kind of avoid their credit score. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to have a method of monitoring your credit, or you need to actually get your hands on a physical copy of your credit report. This could be done in a number of ways. Some people they go for the free monitoring systems that they have out there. Credit Karma is a really popular one. Credit Sesame is also another popular one that people use just to kind of try to get an idea of where their credit scores are. One of the things that I want for you guys to keep in mind, though, especially if you're using Credit Karma or Credit Sesame, is that these actually monitor your Vantage scores. And what you will find is, if you've ever looked at Credit Karma and you use that for monitoring, and you were going like to a car dealership to try to finance a car, or you were going to a mortgage lender to try to qualify for a home, your Vantage score and your FICO score are like night and day. Usually there's a difference. There can be up to like 80 to 100 point difference between the two.
So what's a Vantage score then? Like, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Okay. So a Vantage score, it's just a score that's generated by the credit bureaus per se, but it's like a soft score. Whereas a FICO score is the score that's used by lending institutions to actually try to see what type of risk you have or what type of risk they're going to incur with loaning you money. So with your Vantage score, because it's kind of like a soft score, it does have everything that's listed on your credit. It does have all of the inquiries. It does have all of the meat and potatoes. It's just calculated differently. And that's the reason why when it comes to FICO score, your FICO score, like I said, it's usually a harsher calculation. And because of that, there's a point difference. So that's the number one thing to remember. You can actually get a free copy of your credit report annually at the annualcreditreport.com website. So that's another important thing for you to remember. If you don't have your credit report, if you've never laid eyes on it, you definitely want to go ahead and take advantage of that. And that's something that's allotted to every American, and we can get that free on the annual basis. So every year, and it spans it out too. So you can't get it early. If you got the credit report, let's say it's the 27th, the 26th. Today's the 26th. So if you got your credit report on the 26th of September this year, then you would have to wait until after the 26th of September next year to request a new and updated credit report. That's the first thing, getting your hands on the information. The second step is actually identifying the negative accounts on your credit report that are impacting your score. These could be collection accounts, these could be charge-offs, and one of the reasons why you want to identify these accounts is because some people don't realize the statute of limitations. Right now, the statute of limitations on these debts is 7 years. So sometimes you will have accounts on your credit report that has been there for over 7 years, and it's just sitting there because no one has ever disputed it and said, hey, this is past the statute of limitations, this shouldn't be on my credit report. People think that the credit bureaus just go in and say, hey, it's been 7 years, let me take this down. That's not always the case because there are so many credit reports, of course, in the world. They just don't automatically do that. So if it's past the 7-year time frame, you definitely want to make sure that you just go ahead and send in that request. Hey, it's been 7 years. This should no longer be reporting on my credit report. Another reason.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing that you want to do is you want to look at your card balances. We talked about this briefly last time. I cannot stress this enough. Your utilization on your credit is so important. And what most people don't realize is that utilization covers all of your credit cards. This means that if you have a credit card that's $5,000 and you're using $3,000 and you have a credit card that's $2,000 and you're using $1,000 of that, if you have another credit card that's $2,000 and you're using $1,000 of that, your utilization is going to be calculated across all of those cards. So it's going to put you at about 70% utilization. Some people think that it's per card. Actually, it calculates everything in its totality. So you can have two cards at a zero balance, but if on that $5,000 card, you're at $4,000, it's going to calculate your utilization based off of your total credit that's available to you. And it's going to do 30% of that.
Oh, see that? I did not know. I thought it was just each card. Good one. Okay. So you can't hide, you can't hide the balance. You can't you can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this at zero. But I'm gonna keep this one at 90, and it's gonna just average out. No, it does not do that. It definitely calculates all of the credit that you have available and how much of that credit that you're utilizing. And so, if you're utilizing too much credit in that instance, you could still run into an instance where your score has been affected because of your utilization rate.
Okay. Ooh, that's a gem right there. All right. Look, I need to change some things.
No. The next thing that you definitely want to do is you definitely want to, Next thing that you definitely want to do is you want to look into your accounts in terms of old collection accounts. A lot of people try to do collections the wrong way. And I want to give this to you guys because it's important that you know that if you have a collections account on your credit report, a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm just going to pay the collections and everything is going to be nice. Not really. There is in terms of how your credit is viewed, there is not a difference between a paid collection and a unpaid collection account. So they both rate negatively. They fall under the negative derogatory category on your credit report, and they both affect your credit report.
You better
preach. The only way, the only way to actually benefit from that is for you to negotiate with the creditor to have the account removed if you pay the balance. And a lot of people don't do that. They just want to pay it. Oh, I'm just going to pay it. They sent me this letter. This debt is 50% off. You have to realize, and I'm going to say briefly, that when it comes to collection agencies, kind of think of them in terms of car dealerships, right? Except for their collection agencies.
Okay.
So they go in to the auction and they buy your debt. And for them, once they buy your debt, it's then their job to try to make as much money off of that debt as they possibly can. So your collection agent or the collection agency that has your debt, there's no way that they spent the amount that you owe. They only spent a fraction of that because there's no guarantee that they're ever going to collect from that. So anything that they get from you is a bonus because they didn't purchase the debt for the full amount of the debt. They purchased it for a fraction of the debt. So they're trying to make as much money as possible. So while you're looking at 50% as a deal that they're offering you, 9 times out of 10, 50% is not a deal. They're going to be making money off of that, which is why they will send you those letters happily. We'll settle your debt for 50% off. However, if you do that, then the only thing that they will do on your credit is they'll update it to paid as agreed, and it'll still sit on your credit report in the derogatory section, and it will still actually affect your credit in a negative manner.
And I think I have a question about that too. I heard once before that if you have a collection account and it's been sitting for, let's say, 6 years, right? Almost 7 for the statute of limitations, right? Okay. And they send you that letter, and if you make a payment, now you have started that 7-year cycle over again?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I am so happy that you brought that up. You definitely have to be aware of restarting the statute of limitations because some people, they will respond to those letters. If it has been over 7 years and that debt, they can no longer take you to court for that debt. They can no longer sue you for that debt because you're really outside of that window. And so they will send you a letter. And if you respond to that letter, because some people have responded, they're angry. You shouldn't be sending me no letter. You've actually restarted that process, and you've actually put them in a position where they can now collect on. We call it ghost debt because it's really dead. It's a zombie debt type of situation, but they can actually collect on that. Also, a lot of people are not aware of their rights in terms of collection agencies. It's a certain language that they have to follow and adhere to when they're writing you letters. I can't even tell you that I'm fully aware of the specific language. This is one of the reasons why we have an attorney on our staff. But I do know that when part of our credit restoration process consists of any collection letters that our clients get, they scan them, they email them to us, they fax them to us, they make sure that we get them. I then pass that on to the attorneys that we're partnered with, and the attorneys review all of those letters for any type of violations. I can tell you that we've had several clients that were able to get payments made to them because it's $1,000 per violation. So in one particular instance, we had a young lady that had 2 different letters, and both letters had violations about them. And our attorney, they do the case for our clients. So our clients, it's no more money that they have to dish out. They do the case on behalf of our clients. They put in the lawsuit, and that's $2,000 that our client was able to get because the collection agencies did not adhere to their format and their rules and regulations when they were generating the letters that they sent out to our clients.
Okay. All right. I have a question about when you said restart the debt and you send them back a letter, is a phone call also considered restarting it?
Phone call could restart the debt too.
Okay.
So it's just best if you just
ignore.
A lot of times, it's just, and we tell our clients that all the time. If you're getting calls from collection agencies, just ignore them because what they're really trying to get you to do. I mean, the first thing that you hear when you're talking to a collection agency, this call is coming through on a recorded line. What they're trying to do is get you to validate your information and verify the debt while they're on the phone with you, because that gives them the authority to be able to continue contacting you, trying to get that debt. which is why we tell all of our clients, like, do not take calls from collection agencies. Like, once they've identified themselves as a collection agency, just hang up the phone.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Sounds like it's nice to be a client.
Well, it definitely is, because they have access to all of the resources. If you do see something negative on your credit report, and this is one of the things that we have to tell clients too, because we do live in an age where identity theft is real. You know, if it's an error, if you did not do it, if you are a victim of identity theft, let me say this first. The first thing that you want to definitely make sure you do is you want to contact the police so you can get a police report. And you want to include as much on the police report as you possibly can in terms of what happened, what accounts in your credit report are not yours, when you noticed it, and things of that nature, because there are laws that are set up to protect people who are victims of identity theft and remove that from their credit report. Okay. However, if you're just the average consumer and you actually did it, but there's a dispute, or you see errors in the debt, like they're saying that if it was $4,000, you know that the loan was only supposed to be $1,000, you can dispute the erroneous information. You definitely can dispute that information. A lot of people, but here's the catch. Factual disputing, ladies and gentlemen, is so many ways to go about that. Not mine is not one of them. I just want to put that out there, because I know that your friends and family members and coworkers, this is water cooler talk. They'd be like, oh yeah, girl, I got that off my credit. I went on there and I just said it wasn't mine. Not mine is not factual disputing. The disputing that we do, we actually challenge the inaccurate information. And accurate information could be the fact that the way that your accounts report on your credit report, they have a standard. Each specific account has a way that it's supposed to report. If it's not reporting correctly, we can dispute that. If your social security number is not reporting correctly, we could dispute that. If the format is not correct, we can dispute it. So there is a lot of factual methods of disputing that we can use. However, not mine is not considered factual disputing. And if you've ever used not mine and then the debt came back, that's the reason why. It's not factual disputing. So when you use the reason not mine, there's definitely a way that it can come back.
Okay. For me personally, they misspelled my middle name, and I get it a lot. Is what can I do about that?
You could dispute it.
Yeah,
they misspelled your middle name. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a negative account, then I would dispute it. If it's a positive account, you just want to contact them and say, hey, you misspelled my middle name. Can we get this corrected?
You know what? Thank you for giving me the real. That's the real.
Yeah.
Delete the positive, delete the negative.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
if it's a positive account, you just want to keep that one. But if it's a negative account, you definitely want to challenge that and dispute it because it's not reporting correctly. That's not your, who is this person? I don't know her.
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So, yeah. What else we got? We got some really good.
Piggybacking off of an Angel, because so many people contact us about trade lines. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. We do have a company that we partner with for people who absolutely want trade lines. I do not actively promote trade lines. And that's because I feel like the same thing that you can get from a trade line, if you have a family member or if you have a close friend that have good credit, you can still reap all of the benefits without having to pay for them. Generally with the trade lines, if you pay like somebody, they're going to charge you for the age of the trade line. If the trade line is 10 or 20 years, they're going to try to charge you extra money. You're going to pay between $350 to some people pay $1,200 for a trade line to be reported on their credit report. Trade lines always have like a short time frame that they're reported on your credit report. So they don't even give you a long amount of time. They'll say, oh, well, we could have this reported from 30 to 45 days. The reason why they don't give you a long amount of time is because this is the business for them. Meaning that you're in a slot. This is a paid slot. If they have 6 available authorization user slots on their card, then that means that once you've paid your $1,200, they're only going to leave you on there for 30 to 45 days because they're going to be trying to get you out of that slot so they can try to get somebody else into that slot. So rather go through all of that, which is crazy to me, I actually tell my clients that if they have a friend or a family member, usually it may be a mom. I have a client that's coming on Monday, and he called me and he said, can I ask my grandma can she put me on her card as an authorized user? Absolutely. That is the best thing you could do. However, when you have this conversation, make sure that this is a person that has good credit.
Okay.
Meaning that this person has the credit cards beneath the 30% utilization range. It is not going to benefit you getting on a credit card if the person has a $5,000 limit and they're at $4,999. That's not going to help you. That's actually going to hurt your score. But if they have $5,000 and they're using like, you know, maybe $500, then that would definitely help your score. But it's definitely more beneficial for you. And most of the time, your friends and family members are not going to charge you. So you can get the benefit of being added to their card. You can get the benefit of having that age added to your credit report and having those accounts added to your credit report for free versus it being a paid cost. And it actually does work. Having being put on as an authorized user for somebody that has positive credit and has cards that have reasonable limit, it actually works, and it can help boost your credit score. They actually call it piggybacking off of an angel. That's the old term of it.
Oh, that's sweet. I'm like, oh, because that okay, I can see. Let's back up a bit though, and can you explain trade lines?
Yes. Trade lines are the credit accounts that you have, or the lines of credit that you have, because there's different type of credit. When we talk about the credit mix, you have installment loans, you have like your student loans, mortgage loans fall under the category of installment loans. If you have a car, that's going to fall under the category of installment loans. Trade lines are actually considered to be those revolving credit lines, or those store credit lines that you have. So if you have a Macy's account or a Sears account, American Express, you know, the Best Buy, your MasterCard, those are your trade lines that are reporting. And they're also essential to your credit report. A lot of people don't realize that. And sometimes it's hard to listen to multiple people. I'm sorry, I'm adjusting my earpiece. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to listen to multiple people in terms of this because so many people go through the Financial Peace University. I have a certificate. I've been through Financial Peace University. So I get where some of you guys are going to come from, because in that, Dave Ramsey says, cut up your credit cards. And people, they pull out their credit cards and they cut them up. However, if you are in the stage where you have bad credit and you do not have any credit cards, you need those credit cards on your account. You need them on your report. If you do not have any credit cards right now, I promise you, you're losing out on credit. Right. That's the way that it works. You're losing out on credit. Your credit mix is a part of the mix of credit that you have, is a part of what makes up your credit score. And if I pull somebody's credit report, even just looking at it, to give them an analysis of what's going on with their credit, it will say no revolving accounts. And they're dinged for it because they don't have anything in that category. I spoke with a lady yesterday, and this was actually funny. It was via Facebook group, and she said my credit score went up 90 points across all three bureaus, and I couldn't believe it. And I asked her, I said, did you add any credit cards or installment loans like over the last 90 days? Yes, she had just added. She didn't have any credit cards, and she just added 2, and those 2 credit cards that she added boosted her credit score up over 90 points. So they're definitely needed. So the magic number.
Okay, go ahead. The magic number, that's a good one.
Is 3. The magic number for the amount of credit cards. Some people, they do overkill. You're going to have some people, they like, woohoo, I got to sleeve credit cards. Roll it out and it just falls down. You do not need a lot of credit cards. You do not. The magic number for credit cards is 3. So 3 is the magic number if you do not have any. You just need 3 credit cards to get yourself established in terms of credit and to get yourself rolling and to make sure that you have a sufficient amount of cards to meet that credit mix. Anything over 3, you'll still get points, but it's just 3. After 3 is just overkill.
So where can someone with bad credit go to get approved for a card? You know, and I know bad credit is relative, but like I guess someone who has maybe low, I think they consider bad credit anything under 680. So
they do.
Yeah, I thought so. Anything under, so if someone has like a 620 or a 650, like where could they go to get a card?
I actually have a link and I can post it on the video. It's for the Discover platform, and it does a soft pull, which means it's not a hard pull. So it's not an inquiry that actually affects your credit report, but it does a soft pull, and it will let the person know what type of credit card they qualify for. And if it qualifies them for like any type of credit card, because they range from, if the people with bad credit, it's going to qualify them for a secured card where they have to fund the card. The people with not so bad credit, like the people that you were talking about, like 640 range, 620 range, it may actually just qualify them for a regular credit card, and they can go ahead and apply. And if they apply for that card, they're going to get it.
Okay. Yes, please post that. And then I had another question when you were talking about the credit cards. Secured. So are secured cards good for your credit though?
Yes. I mean, in terms of the building staging, secured cards are very good for your credit because you have some people where there's no other option. Like we have some clients that may come to us and they may have credit scores and an example of I guess a bad credit score that we've encountered, is like 469. They have 469. There's no way that they're going to be qualified for an unsecured card. However, not having a card at all is still damaging their score.
Gotcha.
So in order to assist them in that rebuilding process, we advise them to get that secured card.
Okay, gotcha.
We advise them to get a couple of secured cards if they can, because that's going to help them along the way. Now, once they get to the fact where they're at 650 or they're at 680, then they could, by all means, go from having a secured card to having just an unsecured card. Because they can start applying for the prime cards at that point. Okay. But it's when they're at that age. And we tend to be kind of strategic when we're advising our clients about that, because we want to get our clients in the prime position. One of the things that I hate to say it, we are passionate about, I know I'm passionate about, is my clients having prime cards, which means they're high limit cards. I like my clients to have decent credit limits. When you're starting out, $300, $200, that's okay. However, once you get further up and your credit score is up, it's better for my client, especially a business client or potential business client, to have a credit limit of $20,000 versus having a credit limit of like $1,000.
Right.
We actually have a lot of approvals that I'll be posting for some of our clients that have gotten approved from anywhere from, I think it was $5,000 for an Apple card to $20,000 for their Navy Federal card. So.
Okay. All right. Yes, we will look for those approvals. Because that's exciting. $20,000. I know a lot of people here are like, $20,000. I could buy cars from the auction with my credit card. But
yeah.
And I have a story about the authorized users when you're talking about adding trade lines to your credit report. Mm-hmm. I have a friend from high school, and she has had a 700 and something score since high school because her mom added her as an authorized user way back in the day. And now, and she's always had good, like she maintained it all her life. And so she's always had high 7, even 8 credit because of that authorized user business. I was like, that is awesome.
Now, and I am so happy that you brought this up, because this is actually going to be a tool that all of your business owners who's watching this can use. One of the reasons why we're so passionate about credit is that most of us we are parents and we do have children, and getting your financial habits in order is important because your children are watching you. And the reality of it is that you can't teach them what you don't know. So that is definitely something that you can do. Some people start while they're in high school, to be honest with you. If you wanted to, and they're going to get your children, as long as you're maintaining your good credit and you're putting them on cars that have great history, your children are going to benefit no matter what. So if you wanted to put them on when they're like 16, I wouldn't advise doing it before 16, to be honest with you. But if you have those cards, you want to add your children on as authorized users at the age of 16, by the time they graduate, you will have your child in the same position.
Right.
Where they will graduate with a 700 credit score. And it's going to be important along the way, though, too, that you teach them how to maintain that 700 credit score.
Yes.
Because some people give their children a 700 credit score and they let them run free to frolic around in the world with it. And that is not going to help them. You definitely want to teach them the habits that they need in order to maintain that credit score.
Okay. Yeah, that's, I think, a good point for a lot of reasons. But I think also for me, just over the years when I've had my credit score dip, it's just that I haven't maintained it. Like I haven't, paid attention. I haven't, been strategic. So it is important to have a strategy around your credit.
It is.
Yeah. It's important. Okay. All right. So did we get all the points, or you have something else to give us?
Well, the last point, I guess that we have just is that if you don't feel comfortable with it, because credit disputing, if you don't feel comfortable, that's what we're here for. If you need someone else to do it for you, that's what we're here for. If you're busy and you don't have time, that's what our company is here for in terms of credit restoration. We assist people in getting to where they need to be in terms of their personal credit. And I know somebody, Mr. Walker, had a few questions. So yes. I guess that was our last point. They could definitely contact us via the link if they need our assistance. And then we can go from there.
Okay, yes. And he also just said awesome advice. That's awesome. It is. Look, it's awesome. It is some awesome advice though, for real. Like life changing. Let's see. Okay, here or there. Okay, so the last question first. Turning your personal credit into business credit.
There's definitely a difference in between the two. Your personal credit and your business credit are not the same. In order to start your business, generally you start your business credit separately. Okay. And so there's two ways to build business credit, and I'm going to go over both of them briefly. The first way that you build business credit, well, first things first, you need to make sure that you're fully established. And when I say fully established, you need to make sure that everything is 100% legit. Keep in mind that when you start the business credit building process, you're stepping into another realm of lenders, and they're going to be looking for legitimacy. So when you build your company, you have to have it set up. Your structure, are you a corp? Are you an LLC? That needs to be set up. You need to have your website, or even if you don't have your website fully set up, you at least need to have your business professional email set up. That needs to be established, because goodcars@hotmail.com isn't considered to be a good email address in terms of a business credit application.
I'm glad you said that. Yes, we have talked about.
Yeah, they want to actually see. Yeah, they want to actually see that professional email address. If you have it's not uncommon. It's okay for you to have a business phone number that's separate for your phone number. In my industry, which is the finance industries, we tend to all have 1-800 numbers. So I have a 1-800 number that's separate from my personal cell phone number that clients have to contact to get in contact with us. So you have to have your phone number. You have to have your business address. Using your home address, even if it's a business address, like some people go through, like I know you have a lot of virtual places. Regis is one of them, I believe, where you can have access to business addresses. UPS stores offer access to business addresses. DaVinci offers access to business addresses. You want to make sure that you have your business address and it's not your home address, because these are all things that potential lenders check for. Okay. You want to make sure you have your EIN number. I'm pretty sure this Shamil probably walked you all through that portion of it. You want to make sure that you have your business bank account. Having your business bank account is definitely like one of the first, you don't even realize it. That's one of the first steps of building your business credit. Because if you try to go for a loan, or if you try to go for a funding, please believe they're going to want to look at your cash flow to try to see what type of numbers you're doing, to try to see what type of loan they can give you that won't be that much of a risk to the bank.
Right. Okay. Okay. Oh, I can't hear you right now. Something happened. Can you still hear me? Yeah, I can't. Yeah, something happened. Your sound. Yeah, I still can't hear you. I see your lips moving though. Hello? No, not now either. No, Look, come on now. You dropping them gems. These forces be trying to mess with us in our getting our information. No, still not nothing. No. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, cool. Turn off and turn back on. Has something happened? Yeah, she is dropping them gems out. Okay, like yes, that business credit gem. Yes, so I can't wait for her to come back. We have Okay, yeah, here she is. Approve. Okay, it's adding. All right, who all is watching? And if you have any questions, post them below. We only got like a couple of more minutes, so get your questions in. All right, what's up? Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know we were in the middle of going over business credits. I'm sorry, you guys, because I did have a phone call that came through.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's what happened. And then the transmission, after I declined the call, the feed got messed up.
Okay.
So back to building business credit. The first step to outside of getting your business bank account, you definitely want to go into Duns and Bradstreet. That's dnb.com. I can actually put these links on under here for you guys. But you want to go to DNB and you want to request your Duns and Bradstreet number. And it's free. Because once you get on there, it's one of those instances where they're going to try to upsell you. They're going to try to give you all of these other bells and whistles. That's not what you need. You just need your Duns and Bradstreet number. So you're going to apply for your Duns and Bradstreet number. Generally, they send it to you via an email. It comes within a couple of weeks. Once you get your Duns and Bradstreet number, from there, you can start the process of building business credit. If you're building your business credit separately from your personal credit, it's a separate process that you're going to have to start. Some people, though, they don't build their business credit separate from their personal credit. If you have like a 700 credit score and you're really trying to build up your business credit and you want to try to do it at a faster rate, what some people generally do is they personally guarantee their business credit cards. You have some banks like Chase. I believe Chase has a Business Inc. card. Chase is going to ask you to personally guarantee your card. People with good credit, they don't mind guaranteeing their business credit cards, though, because they know that the only way that it's going to actually report on their personal credit report is if they default on paying the payments. And somebody with a 720 or 780 didn't get there by ignoring their bills and not paying them on time. So that's actually the bells and whistles on the business credit process.
That was awesome. I feel like clapping. Thank you for that. And then the last question is, how can you use cash advances to grow your business, and is that a good idea to do?
So being a business owner, because you have to be an investor first, being a business owner is definitely going to be all about taking your risks. So in that instance, you're going to be taking a bet on you. So I will tell you, absolutely taking out a cash advance is a good avenue to use in order to be able to have access to extra resources to be able to fund your business. But you have to know yourself and you have to be realistic with yourself. This is where it comes in at. If you know that you sell cars like hotcakes, like as soon as you come back from the auction, you got people lined up to buy cars, absolutely. Take out that cash advance, go ahead and get those cars, do everything that you need to do in that process, because I'm not familiar with it, in order to be able to sell those cars. Sell those cars, make sure that you make enough of a profit in order to be able to pay that cash advance back within a 30 to 60 day time period. That's going to be my advice. You don't want to carry that balance long term. I would say I wouldn't plan to carry a balance like that. If I took out a cash advance, it would have to be something that I was planning on putting back within a 90-day time frame. I wouldn't go out further than 90 days. This would not be something that I would be trying to finance out a year. This would be something that was quick because I may need to go do it again. So if you're willing to put all bets on you, you know your business, and you know that you're a go-getter and you're going to get out there and you're going to get the money to be able to get it back to them, definitely take out a cash advance. People in real estate on the business end do it all the time. They'll go take out a $10,000 cash advance and they'll spend $10,000 on a house. Or they'll go actually, you know what? They'll take out a $30,000 cash advance, to be honest with you. And that's another thing about having access to business credit. Whereas on the personal end, you may get $10,000 to $20,000. On the business credit end, you're going to get $50,000 to $100,000 in credit. It's easy to get $500,000 in credit, in business credit. So they'll take out a $30,000 cash advance and they'll go buy a building and they'll use portions of the other money to get the house to the point where it could be flipped and sold. But guess what? They flipped the house and they spent $20,000 on it and they make $70,000, they could pay that full loan back and then still have profit to be able to go buy another house if they wanted to.
Right.
So it's really part of knowing where you are in the process and knowing how much of a hard worker that you are. Like, if you lazy, don't go take out no cash advance.
Or if you don't know what you're doing, you ain't been selling cars quick, don't you do that.
Don't take out no cash advance.
Right.
However, what I will say would be a good thing for you to do with that credit card instead is to be able to invest in your business. Like, if you're sitting and you're in the auto dealer group and you know that you need a coach, and you know that Shamil has a class that you know that you need to be in to be able to further your business, that would be a good use of that credit card. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get in this business, because at that point, it's not even you, it's you making an investment into your business, which is looked at differently. And to be honest with you, and this is the tax preparing me coming out, if you make an investment in your business, it's all the tax deduction. Like, if I was to get in her program right now, that's a whole I don't care which program I get in, that's a whole tax deduction for me. And I'm going to take every penny off.
Right.
Because I'm investing in my business, and the return of interest that I'm going to get is going to be the tools that I need in order to be able to make my business successful. So because of that, it becomes worth it. So in business, before you make a decision, you need to be thinking about what's your return of interest going to be.
Okay, I love it. Like, again, I feel like I'm clapping. I want to respect your time. We do have one more question. Do you want to just answer it later, or now? It's up to you. I know we got.
I'm good for another question. I mean, especially with the hiccup on my part.
Okay, cool. All right, and then my part too. Like, we did start late. It is what it is. Okay, so Brantes asks, how hard is it to get a loan for a startup? What places would you recommend? And also, where to go to get a 30,000 credit line? LOL.
Definitely, I don't know how your credit file looks. I will say that in my experience, credit unions, especially on the personal end, tend to be more lenient when it comes to giving out generous amounts.
My opinion, too.
Navy Federal.
Yeah.
Navy Federal is definitely one of the credit unions that is known. They're infamous. My clients, as soon as I find out that they bank with Navy Federal, I just give honor to God and give them all the glory, because I know that the algorithms that Navy Federal Credit Union uses when they're granting those limits is pretty generous.
Okay.
So outside of a credit union
account. Okay.
Yes, get a Navy, and they do have Friends and Family Day too. Just let you guys know, they do have Friends and Family Day. So those are days where even if you aren't military, if you know somebody that banks with them, that they can refer you in on the Friends and Family Days. Outside of that, it depends on what type of relationship that you have with your bank. I don't think that people realize, especially being in business, it's about relationships. So that means that if you've been banking with the relationships, you should know everybody in the bank. You should have a branch that you go to. You need to know the people at the front. You need to know the banker that you came in with. You need to know the person in the back that does the funding. You need to know everybody, because when you go in and you're requesting $30,000, this definitely will make it easier for you. However, if you're doing it on the business end, being a new business, you would have to prove that you would be able to pay that loan back. So it may be easier starting off to try to get the card on the personal end until you've established your business credit.
Okay, so get the card and get your Navy Federal account. Joe says he banks with Navy Federal. Do they do business accounts?
They do. They do business accounts. What? They do have. Yes, listen. I love Navy Federal. Okay.
I'm leaving Bank of America today. No.
They do business accounts. No, don't leave them. They're awesome too. They just had this awesome, I don't know if you saw it yesterday. Bank of America was giving away a class for women entrepreneurs for free. From Cornell University. What? So it was a $3,000 certificate course, business course for entrepreneur women that they were giving away for free.
What?
So your bank is awesome too.
Okay, Bank of America. Okay, so just open another one. I'll have another. Okay. Awesome.
But yeah.
That is awesome information. Janita, you are a lifesaver. So if the first thing people need to do is what? Like, I'm assuming they need to just get with you so they can get a strategy and just get this going, because you don't want to be in the same situation next year as this year. Like, move this forward.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely assist with the personal credit restoration process, but business credit is actually, I don't know if you saw how amped up and perky I got as soon as we start talking about business credit. Yeah. So business credit is actually one of my new loves, and that's just because it just makes so many things possible. You guys have no idea, being able to get your cars in the business name, being able to get insurance in the business name, being able to invest in real estate in the business name. So yeah, business credit is awesome. And we have several business credit building programs with my company. So it ranges from the person that just wants to do it themselves, but just needs a little extra support, to the person that's just like, well, I need it built, but I don't feel like building it. So we have the do-it-yourself program that we have the clients can enroll in. And we also have concierge programs where we're actually doing the bulk of the work. And the only thing that the client is doing is actually paying invoices when we tell them to. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So then how would, I'm assuming that we would have to first go through personal, like how would one start your business credit program?
I can give you we have consultations.
Okay.
We have a business credit consultation that we generally set up. I can send you a link for that as well. But it just really depends, because I don't know. I need to know what their vision is for how they want to build business credit before we know how to move on.
Okay.
Like I said, some people, they're very hands-on. They're the people that incorporated their own business. They didn't hire anybody else to do it, so they want to do it themselves. That's going to be somebody that's going to be more fit for our DIY program, where we're just there for extra support if they have questions, to point them in the right directions, and it gives them a step-by-step process on when they should be applying, what accounts they should be applying for, when they should be applying for before they move to the next step. With our concierge program, like I said, that's for the people that's just like, I need it built and I ain't got no time to build it. So will you do it? So yeah,
okay. Okay, that would probably be me, because I am a believer. Paying the professionals to do what professionals do. So, okay, Joe says, send me that link for the business credit consultation. Joe, I have a link in the description. You can fill out, and I'll send on to Janita as well, so you can get in the system, but this is a friendly system.
Yeah.
And and do you recommend that people go through that checklist that you mentioned first about the business credit, like first do this, first do that, before they come to you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot of times it's not something that takes a lot of time. So this could be while we're working together. I mean, I've had some people come to me for business credit and they don't even have a business set up. And it's just like, okay, but because they have access to me, and because that business consulting services is part of what my company does as well, I'm perfectly able to tell them what steps they need to do and how they need to get things. So it's either or. But I would actually rather them come to me if they know that they're ready to do business credit, because I can make sure that their company has that checklist completed for me to know that their business is fundable when they get to me. That's better than them just doing whatever they wanted to do and then coming to me and it's just like, wait a minute, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this.
That makes sense. All right. And then Vantage says, thank y'all for taking time out and sharing this valuable info. Yes, you are welcome. This is exactly why we're here, because yes, you don't know what you don't know, and people don't necessarily tell you how they have gotten to where they are. And so that's what we're here to do. And hopefully, you act on it though. Like, you got to act on it. So fill out the
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. We actually have a challenge. First 48. Oh. That's what I do with my business coach. First 48. Successful people, when they come into information, they actually make a decision within 7 to 10 seconds, and they take action within the first 48 hours.
Yes. So take action. I mean, make it happen. Like, get this credit train going so that you can get this $30,000 or whatever. I'm not promising anything, but whatever it is. You can get it and make it happen. So, just fill out the link, and that will go on to Janita, and you'll, be set up. So, Janita, I thank you so much, and we do need to definitely get together in person, because every time I see you on camera, I'm like, hey!
Yay! We do. Just let me know.
Yes, I will. So, thank you so much. Like, this was really valuable. This was awesome. So have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.
Okay. All right. You guys have a great day.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.